So both Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo seem to share the same belief when it comes to Terence Crawford's approach regarding this fight on September 13th. Both Saul and Mel have shared that they expect Bud to step into the ring and actually fight rather than run around like most fight fans have been assuming. And I thought this was interesting for the simple fact that they both said this just a couple days apart from each other. You know, Jermell wasn't actually vocal when sharing his opinion, but it was just a few days ago when he commented under this IG post asking if Crawford hits harder than one of Canelo's more previous opponents, Edgar Berlanga. Mel's comment read, "I think so. Crawford will do better than me and Blander," which is, I'm sure, a typo for Berlanga. Now, although Charlo didn't really answer the exact question of who hits harder, it caught many off guard that he would have such high expectations for Crawford given the two's history. And even though it was nice to see a more humble side of Mel, the truth is, why wouldn't he believe this? I mean, for starters, it's not like Crawford didn't beat the dog shit out of Mel's stablemate and friend Errol Spence Jr. If some, if not most, aren't already aware, Jermell has went on record multiple times to give Crawford props on that performance, even through all the trash talk the two have had. So of course, that's a testament to the newly found respect he must have for Bud. Also, when Charlo stepped foot inside the ring with Canelo, it's no secret that he only went in there to survive and collect a check. I'm sure Mel, like everyone else, knows Crawford isn't just going to go in there to survive. We all know he's going to try to win the fight, which is more than likely why, in a more recent sit-down with the Ring magazine, Canelo seemed sure when he said he knows Crawford will bring the fight, unlike his last opponent, William School. Now, I personally am not surprised by the expectation either of these guys have for Bud, because like Canelo said himself, it's not really like Crawford to want to run a track meet inside the ring. Like, of course, Bud will box and move around at certain points of each round in the fight, but he's a lot more aggressive than the famous defensive approach of, let's say, your Floyd Mayweathers and Shakur Stevensons. And because I have a strong feeling and idea of what Crawford's game plan should be, I want to bring something to the attention of not only Canelo and Crawford fans, but mutual fans in general. Listen, now before I get into this, I want to let it be known that I'm not saying this is true and I'm not here to tarnish anyone's brand or image. I just believe it's something that has to be pinpointed ahead of the fight, because if true, this is something that could tie in with what I think can possibly be a weakness Crawford can exploit against Canelo. To be honest, I would like to hope this isn't true, but a couple weeks ago, I want to say about August 21st or 22nd, somewhere around there, it was said that Canelo Alvarez was spotted in San Antonio having some drinks. Yeah, the word is Canelo was in San Antonio knocking a few of them back. And of course, my initial reaction would have been, yeah, whatever. I don't believe that bullshit. Because I don't blame anyone who would react that way. However, what makes this a dilemma is the source. Now, I can't blast this guy's name because that's just not my place to do. But if you're no stranger to any of these worldwide boxing social media groups, then you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'll just refer to him as BW or B-Dub. Let's just say, he definitely pissed some Canelo fans off with this information here. I believe fake news, troll, and hater were thrown around a few times in this thread, but this is the thing about B-Dub and why it was hard for me to ignore this. For some reason, this guy is always on point with the leaks. Every time he leaks something, it almost always ends up being true, man. He was one of the very first to leak this Canelo Crawford fight being in talk, months before it was official. He was one of, if not the first, to leak Dana White's involvement in the fight and the fight streaming to Netflix. He was one of the first ones on it, bro. No cap. Where he gets this information from is beyond me, dog. So as much as I'm going to point out how this could very well be true, I'm going to make it my business to also say that it doesn't mean he can't be wrong or is even being lied to. Because after all, as I've said in one of my more previous videos, the closer the fight gets, the more the rumors and stories will build up. This is the usual when it comes to big fights, especially mega bouts. Like, yeah, the Canelo boot sparring rumors were proven to be accurate, but the rumor of Mayweather helping Crawford prepare for this fight was debunked by Terence Bud Crawford himself. So I'll just say, if this is true, if Canelo Alvarez has been undisciplined during training camp, that is not a good sign ahead of this fight with Terence Crawford. It's not, man. Because to me, it means one of two things. Either Canelo's taking chances and winging it because he very well just may be on his way out the door, or he's underestimating Crawford because Crawford's the smaller man. And listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much of a weight advantage you might have. I don't care if Canelo has done this in past training camps. You cannot go in there with a fighter like Terence Crawford with even the slightest bit of fatigue. And when I post my breakdown of what I believe Bud's game plan will be, the picture will be painted that this could be a very bad sign for Canelo. I'm just saying. But hey, man, at the end of the day, it's still hearsay, and hopefully it's all just a misunderstanding, you know? Maybe Canelo was just around others who were partaking in the festivities, and it may have come across as something more. Now, if it is true and he doesn't miss a beat in the ring and handles his business, well then kudos to the one we call Cinnamon. Either way, stay tuned. Pop off.